Hey, folks. I just wanted to go over some things that I thought was important. One of the things that I had questions or people asked me questions about was the pre-planning module and how to assign it, how to edit it, and when to schedule it. This is important because I know some departments have uh, on-duty crews that are assigned pre-plans. So to start off, you can go to pre-planning. And then once you go into pre-planned organizer, the organizer will bring up all of the pre-plans that are in the town. Actually, it's every single occupancy in the town. The nice thing about First Due is it actually pulls the information from the assessor's office or your land use office. It auto imports all of the important data into each occupancy. The other thing that I recommend, highly recommend, is if you haven't done so already, go with Community Connect, because Community Connect allows for the business owner as well as the homeowner to add information that's vital to their occupancy that will be visible to all first responders when a call is dispatched to that occupancy. So they can add items such as where the water shutoff is, where the HVAC system is located, if they have any special instructions as far as access codes to get into the home, if there's a handicapped person there. They even have information in regards to pets, where you can take pictures and upload pictures of pets, as well as a lot of other information. I also use it to file burn permits, which makes it a lot easier. So getting into the pre-plan organizer, again, this is just where you can pick. If you need to assign a pre-plan, you could assign it to a user. So what we'll do is we'll start off by assigning a user or assigning a pre-plan. We'll start from the beginning. So what what you could do is if you have a specific pre-plan of an occupancy and address, you can search for it up here. I'm just going to use our town hall in Essex. Click on it, click search, and then you'll see it'll bring up 29 West Avenue, which is here. Then what you could do is to edit this pre-plan, click on the box here, and there's options up at the top here. If you need to mark this occupancy as a high hazard or a target hazard, you can mark it here. If you made a mistake, you can easily unmark it as a target hazard. And then if you need to assign it, you can assign it to a group or to a single user. So once you click on assign to, it gives you the option, a group or teams. So let's say you have a shift or a platoon that's on duty, let's say tomorrow or the next day. You could assign the team based on the date that they're, the team or the crew that you want to do it. So let's say if you have like a C shift or a D shift or a Division 1, Division 2, you can make specific teams. Or you can just click on user and then drop down and then start typing their name. So here's my name here. I'm going to assign myself this pre-plan. Assign it, and now it's going to be into my assigned pre-plans. The next one is going to be change due date. So let's say you have a crew and you're like, hey, I need you guys to get this done by October 9th. All right, today, or let's say the 15th. Today's the 10th. So click on here. Today's the 10th. I need to have it done by the 15th. Click on 15, click change, and now this has to be done by the 15th of October. The next thing you could do is, which is really good, if you want to keep up on this pre-plan, let's say it's a building that has, it's an educational occupancy, and you want to have a pre-plan done every year, or you want to have it done every couple years, just to make sure that you're on top of things. You could change a cycle, and that's going to tell you when to perform the pre-plan. It's either every year, every 2 years, 3 or 5 years. You can choose. It's completely up to you, or you can just leave it blank. Okay. So now that we have this all scheduled, the next thing you want to do is, let's say your shift captain or deputy chief or the captain, whoever's in charge of the shift, logs into First Do. And then what they can do is they can click on My Assigned Pre-Plans. And what that's going to do, it's going to bring up the pre-plan we just programmed. So as you can see here, this is my pre-plan. So it is in my queue, so it's my assigned pre-plan. The other thing, when you do assign pre-plans, if you have teams or if you have groups, every person in that group will receive this same notification. So if you have 5 people, 10 people, 30 people, it doesn't matter how many people in one group, let's say Division A. Well, Division A, when they click on My Assigned Pre-Plans, will all get the same information, so it makes it a lot easier to track. So I know that I have to get this pre-plan done by the 15th. So I click on, if I'm ready to do the pre-plan and I'm out there, click on Edit. And now what's going to bring you, it's going to bring you into the pre-plan module, which gives you a bunch of options here. Okay. I usually start off with, I go from left to right, make sure everything is kosher here. So address details, it is 29 West Avenue. Billing address, same as occupancy address. So let's say if you charge for your inspections, you want to make sure that you have the billing address correct. If you have a municipality, and let's say you're doing 5 or 6 schools, and or if you have a business and they have like 5 or 6 buildings in a town, and each building has a different address, but you need to send a bill directly to the main office where accounting is. Just make sure your billing address is correct. Latitude, longitude is here, and then you click on General, and then this is where you could put in the name of the business phone number, if it is a dangerous building, high rise. All of this information here is captured, the majority of it is captured through your land use office, your building department, all through the parcel ID. So these are additional items that I added myself for ventilation problems. This is a flat roof, got a rubber membrane decking. If there's a basement, where is the access? There's a second basement, where's the access to that one? There's solar panels. You can add a lot of information here. So the majority of this information will most likely not be used by first responders. But the important thing is that you have to remember as fire marshals or fire investigators, this information is very vital. It's important. When you're doing it in your report or you're doing a fire investigation, you want to know what kind of roof it is. You want to know where was the basement access. All this information is pretty evident, or it's important to include in your report or you're doing a fire investigation. So as much information that can be captured will benefit you in the long run. Over here is units. Now units, this section here is pre-planned units. So for example, all these items here, where their power lines, where the Knox box is located, where the stairwells are located, all of these items here you can grab from this area here. Now let's say you have something that's unique and you don't have it in the list here to add. Well, you can add a new pre-plan unit or pre-plan unit type by going into the organizer here. Now, once I click on here, it's going to ask if you want to save what we've done. We don't have to do that because we're going to come back to it. When you click on pre-plan units, it's going to bring you to an area that you can add your own units. So, for example, if I want to add a high hazard icon, okay, I can add high hazard location. I'm going to use this as an icon that I can place on a building that will tell me or tell other first responders, hey, there's something going on in this building. I want you to click on the icon, and it'll give you additional information. We just had one in town where they were doing renovations, and all the floors inside of the house are completely missing. So it's an abandoned house. The floors are missing, so I put a high hazard or an icon there just for first responders to make sure that they know what's going on in there. The icon path is the actual file. You can add a PNG, JPEG, or a GIF. So I added a GIF. Choose the file. And on my desktop, here is a warning. Double click it. And now, as you can see, the GIF will light up. Now you can change the background to make it any color you want. So you can do white, you can do red. It's completely up to you to really make it stand out. So for purposes of showing how it works, we're just going to create this. Okay. We're going to go back to My Assigned Pre-Plans. Okay. And then we're going to edit the pre-plan. I'm going to show you how it looks. Okay, now here's the town hall. I'm going to put an alert tile right here and say, hey, listen, this is a hoarding house. All right, so click on units. I'm going to add a new unit. Okay, the unit type is exactly what it's labeled or what we named it. So high hazard location, right? So what you could do here is the description. You could actually put hoarding situation or something like that. And then you could also add files to that icon. Okay, last test date would be, hey, I'm adding it today. This is the last time we understood that it was a hoarding house. Click add. Now you see this alert tile here? Now I'm going to take it from the unmapped items, which means anything you've added here, if it's in this area here, it has not been mapped. So you're going to take it, drag it over, release it, and now it's going to be placed over the building. Now you can change the size of it by clicking on it and increasing the size, decreasing the size. You can duplicate it, clone it, or you can delete it. Okay. So now once we've put that in there, it's already been published. Just click X. All right. Now, let's say you're responding and you click on this icon, it's going to come up and say hoarding house, what we just entered in for the information. Okay. So for now, I'm going to delete it. All right. So all these items have been added to this pre-plan. As you can see, there is an NFPA 704 symbol here that's indicating that there is some type of chemical that's located on the property. What you can do is to add a chemical, which is really nice with First Do. They have the entire chemical list. So if we click on hazardous material, there's a type 2 fuel oil that's located here. Let's add another one. You're going to click add new. UN lookup. You can add any kind of chemical you want. As you type it in, it brings in the UN number, or I'm sorry, not the UN number, but the actual chemical name. As soon as you start typing, it'll actually bring up the chemical name for you. So let's say we were doing, ethylene. I'm just going to make okay. Now here's the health hazard. Let's see here. Oops. Ethylene. This is the NFPA 704 information that you're going to put in. So if it's deadly, the health hazard in the blue section of the NFPA 704 symbol. You can add that, extreme danger. And you can get all this information on Cameo, which is the hazardous materials website. Just enter in the UN number and you can get that information. Reactivity, special hazard, quantity, you could say 500 gallons. The location would be A, B corner, let's say. Okay, date verified would be today. And then any comments, bad stuff, look out, yada, 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 yada. And then you could also enter any kind of pictures of the tank itself or any information you can add here. Okay. Once you click add, it'll now put it into the unmapped items. And like I told you before, you take this, you drag it over, and you place it where the tank is located. Okay. Now we go into the important stuff, which is the contacts for the building. You could add numerous contacts for this building. And you can add the contact type, whether it's the alarm company, the assessor's assistant manager of the company, billing contact. If you're billing for your inspections, all this information can be added. Company name, location, phone, all that information can be added. Now we get into attachments. So if you have a Tier 2 report, I suggest you add the Tier 2 reports here, because you can add those reports. They'll be on hand for anybody to reference them. If you had a major incident, if you had a hazmat or something, and you needed those reports, this is a great place to put your Tier 2 reports. The next item here, this is levels. This is important here. Now, when you click on levels, for example, the town hall has 3 stories, 3 levels, okay? You can add each level. Now, what happens is, when you add a level, and in the pre-plan, let's say you're responding, you're going to get this map here. At the top left-hand corner, when you click on the level itself, items will start to disappear, as you can see. Because on the 3rd level, the tank is not located on the 3rd level. It's located on the ground level. Okay, as you can see, everything else is located on the ground. So as you click on each floor, you can add pre-planned items to each floor. So for example, on the 1st floor, we're going to work on the 1st floor right now. I've got an AED that's located right here. Okay, so now that I want to work on the 1st floor, click on the 1st floor. I'm going to add an AED. Okay, and I'm going to add a unit, and I start clicking AED, and there's the AED. Click, and then it was confirmed today, located in hallway, in elevator hallway. Okay, no expiration. You could put a picture of it there if you want. Click add. Now it puts it into the unmapped items. Now I take that AED, I place it right here, and it's on the 1st level. Okay, that's where it's located, right there. So now that's already placed there. If I go on the 2nd level, okay, 2nd level, it's located just outside the door by the window. There's a window over here. If I go to the 3rd level, there's an AED located in the same place, but on the 1st level, it's by the elevator lobby. So as you can see, when you click on each floor, things change because each level has different items. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is, next thing here is annotations. Annotations, there's nothing here because annotations comes here. Okay. Annotations, you can highlight different areas of this building. So for example, if I did 1st floor, which we're working on now, okay, and I wanted to add an annotation, which means these are designs that you can outline the building with, you can add measurements, you can add text messages or text to the actual outline. You can use a circle to circle something. So what I usually what I usually do is kind of like do a freehand of a polygon if I'm outlining a building. So when you click on polygon, you're going to left click once, and then you're just going to follow that line, left click again, and then you're going to come down here, left click, come down here, left click. I'm just going to make this as an example. You close the box, right? Now it adds the polygon to the left-hand side. What we could do is inside this polygon that we've made, okay, we can edit it. When you click on edit, excuse me, you could decide to fill that box with a color, make it olive. Transparency means if it's 100% transparent, that means that you can't see it. So you want to make it, usually I do around 50%, so you actually see part of the building, but it outlines what I'm trying to let the end user see. You could change the color, whatever color you want. You could change the line width. Let's say you really want this thing to stand out, and you're like, boom, I want this thing to stand out. I want them to see this. Or you could just make it subtle. You could change it to the second floor, or right now we're working on the first floor. And when you click on update, it'll keep it there. Okay. Now I use this annotation for a strip mall. If I have multiple units in a strip mall, I will outline the strip mall with different boxes showing, hey, this is unit A or unit 1 or suite 1. Then I'll make another box here. This is suite 2, unit B, unit C. This is suite 3, and all the boxes will be different colors. So that way, first responders can see that when they're responding to a call. So we're going to cancel this. We're going to delete this. So if you need to delete this, just click on the line, and then you're going to click delete, and that removes that line. The other important thing, now you could do different annotations here. You could do a square, circle, polygon, a regular line you could draw. Here's the text. So when you click on text, you're going to add a text here, okay? And you could do suite 1. Click on OK. It's going to add suite 1. Click on it. You're going to edit it. Now you could change the font size. You could change the color if you want to make it yellow. You could actually add a shadow to it if you want black to outline it so you can see, and you can move it. Okay, so this is going to be suite 1. You could actually rotate it. So if you wanted to do 30 degrees, you can make it, as you type it, okay, it moves it. All right, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, okay. So as you type it, it'll move it. All right. If you want to do a fill color, maroon, and also the same thing with transparency. If you only want it to be seen, like the background to be 50%, you can change that maroon color to 50%, or if you don't want it seen at all, do 100% and then no color whatsoever. Let's go up here. Click update, and then that'll stay there. But for now, we're going to cancel. All right. Delete. Another important thing that I feel is really important is the measuring tool here that you can keep, that you can annotate, which is right here. Click on ruler. So for example, I use this for water supplies. If we have a either a hydrant, or if we have some type of drafting site that's, let's say, really it's an inside lot, and I've got like a really long lay from the area where we're either going to have a tanker task force set up a tank or something, you can actually import or put in a ruler that will always be there for people to see. So you click on ruler, okay? You're going to add your first measurement just by clicking. Let's say this is where we're going to drop the butt from a truck. All right, and there's no hydrant here. Let's say there's a pond here, and this is going to be our draft site. Click once, then you're going to drag. Click again. That gives us our actual footage, 321 feet. Okay, you could save the measurement, and what that's going to do is it's going to keep that there forever. Okay, you can edit it. Here, you can name it draft lay to, I don't know, house. Anything you want to name it. You could change the color of it, make it maroon, the actual numbers. Rotate, fill, again, transparency, all that stuff. That is always going to stay there. It's a great, great option if you've got limited water supply and you want to tell your guys, hey, how long is a lay to get to this certain area of town or on this street? So we're going to cancel this. Click on that. We're going to delete that. And then click OK. All right. Same thing with this line. We're going to delete. And click OK. All right. Now getting back to more annotations here. This here is toggle secondary addresses. Okay. Secondary addresses, when you click on this, let's say you have a strip mall. All right. And you've got 125 Westbrook Road, let's just say. Well, that 125 Westbrook Road, when you click on toggle secondary addresses, will pop up Suite A, Suite B, Suite C, Suite D, so on and so forth. So then when you click on Suite A, it'll bring you to the information for Suite A. And then you can enter in, let's say Suite A is Walgreens or Rite Aid. Suite B is Subway. Suite D is going to be a Burger King. That's where you can enter all the information in once you toggle the secondary address. Here is your layers. You can add or show layers. So you can show your hydrants, the pre-planned units which we've just entered, any kind of hazardous materials, pre-planned hazmats, or any annotations that we've entered. Let's say you just want to look at the building itself. Well, you can uncheck everything and all that information will disappear. This is point of interests. So once you click on this, it's going to label the town hall as Essex Town Hall, Fire Marshal Office, Police Department. All that information can be listed if you click on point of interest. Let's say that you are doing a pre-plan from your desk. You're doing a desktop pre-plan. And you're like, oh man, I just completely forgot what was in the front of that building. You can use the little guy here. This is the Pegman, which brings you to the street view, and just drag him over here, wherever you want to see the part of the building. So let's say you want to go down Grove Street and you want to look at the Bravo side of Grove Street. Click on it and it's going to bring you to that side of the building. So we can look and say, hey, I know that there's a generator that's right there. There's HVAC units, there's split units over here, and I want to add all that information. Okay, so that way, it's a very useful tool that you can use to do your pre-plans if you're doing a desktop pre-plan. You're going to go back, and that brings you back here. Now, once everything is done, let's say your guys are doing the pre-plan. You've got a crew that's out there doing a pre-plan, and they want the fire marshal or the officer or whoever's in charge of approving the pre-plan. Let's say you've got additional items as the fire marshal, the fire chief, and you want to add more things to this pre-plan, or you need to approve it. The folks that are out there doing the pre-plan can just click draft, and that'll save it as a draft. It won't publish it. Once you publish it, it goes live. So just remember that. It's kind of like publishing a website or anything like that. But once you click publish, it goes live. That doesn't mean that you can't go back in there and edit the pre-plan. It just means that it's live for everybody to see, which is a great feature of this program. So your folks can click draft, and then if you want to approve the pre-plan and look at it later on, then you can look at it, make sure everything is right, and then when you're ready, you can click publish, and that's all you need to do. And then you have your pre-plan, and it's all set to go. On the left-hand side, so changes we're going to, on the left-hand side is your pre-plan list. So this is going to be a list of all pre-plans that shows you the status of the pre-plans that are listed here. And you can always go in and edit them. This is the status that it's already been published, which means it's live. And then expiring items would be your pre-plans that are coming up for expiration, or you have different items that are you can have expiring. For example, during the whole COVID situation, the nice thing about this program, it allowed you to enter in locations that were reporting COVID situations. So if you had people who had COVID, they were able to self-report, and that would show up on our pre-plan map so that we can alert first responders, hey, there's COVID, a COVID case here. And then what I would do is have it automatically set to expire 2 weeks. So that's where your expiring items would show up, all the COVID houses or whoever had COVID, it would expire, and then it would disappear from the pre-plans. So that way we didn't have to go in there and remove it automatically. So you can enter in anything you want. If you want this item to disappear, you can have it expire. So any one of these items you can have expire. And to do that, I'll show you really quick. We're going to go into edit. And then once we get into edit, you'll see your items here, your units. Okay. And so let's say I want this AED, we're going to edit it. I want it to disappear. Set expiration date. I want it to disappear tomorrow. Okay. You could also choose action upon expiration. So if you don't want it to disappear and you want somebody to physically say, okay, it's expiring today, we'll uncheck it. For example, if there was for example, for the COVID locations, I may have had a family and one person reported today. So 2 weeks out, it expired. Then I get another report of a secondary family member who is now sick with COVID, and they were just diagnosed 3 days later. Well, then the action, what I would do is keep that COVID icon over the patient's house, and I would be able to remove it myself, or you can choose have it automatically remove itself. Okay. During COVID, I would remove it because we had people who had family members who would then get sick, and then we would just keep the icon over the house just to kind of warn everybody. And you click cancel. So that's what the expiration is for. There's a lot of things that this program does. I can't tell you how happy I am with the program. So if you guys have any questions at all, just drop them in the comments. But I hope this helps you, everybody get through the pre-plans. And that's it. Hope you guys have a good day. And if you have any questions, let me know. Take care.